lesson, we're going to need a calculator and we're going to need a ruler. We're talking about maps and scales, kind of an interesting deal. When we talk about scales, basically it's talking about something like this. When we deal with a map, that we're not going to actually be having a map that's one-to-one, but rather that a centimeter on the map is going to represent something much larger, such as 5 miles. So it says use a ruler to approximate the actual distance between the two towns. If you measure the distance between these two towns, you'll get something like 3 centimeters. What we'll do then is we'll take and we'll use this scale. We'll say 1 centimeter over 5 miles, miles abbreviated MI, would equal 3 centimeters over x. We'll cross multiply 1x will equal 15. And our units, since they're on the bottom here with this ratio, will also be miles. So these two towns are approximately 15 miles apart. We'll do this again with this guy here. This is just 4 centimeters if we use a ruler. So again, we'll use 1 centimeter over 5 miles. Just using the scale that it gave us here will equal 4 centimeters over x. We cross multiply. X equals 20 miles. I just need to circle this part though. One idea here is that whenever it says scale, this is a key term, it's always written in this notation where we have the colon in the middle. This is read 1 centimeter to 5 miles. We're going to use that for the next problems. It says the distance between two locations on a map is given along with the actual distance between them. Find the scale. So what happens here is it says the map distance is 6 inches, the actual distance is 48 miles. So we'll just say 6 inches over 48 miles. 48 miles. We'll see if we can simplify this fraction. This says 48. 6 and 48 are both divisible by 6, so this will just equal 1 inch over 8 miles. And then we would just want to write this using the other notation. This would be to 8 miles going off the page. Okay, so this is the notation that we're looking for. We'll try this again. It says 2 centimeters to 8 miles. 2 and 8 are both divisible by 2. So we have 1 centimeter to 4 miles, or in other words, 1 centimeter to 4 miles. This is what we're looking for, that type of notation. Next, we look at a Sherman tank. Sherman tank is a very destructive tank used in World War eras. It says it has a scale of 1 to 16. 1 would be the size of the model, and 16 is the actual size. I think it's worthwhile for us to sort of note this to realize which number deals with which piece. So when I set this up, I will say something like model over actual. And that's always going to be a ratio of 1 to 16 for us. It then says the length of the actual tank. See, it tells you the actual tank is going to be 584 centimeters. It says what is the length of the model, so the x goes on top because that's where the model's at. When we cross multiply, we have 16x equals 584. When we divide by 16 on both sides, we just get 36.5 centimeters. So your model tank will have a length of 36.5 centimeters. In the next problem, we would calculate the width and the actual tank. We'll do this last one here. Again, we're doing model over actual. It tells us this has to be a ratio of 1 to 16. It tells us the actual tank is 9 feet tall, so we'll put 9 feet on the bottom. It does say what is the height of the model in inches, so we'll have to convert once we're done here. We cross multiply, we have 16x equals 9. When we divide both sides by 9, we should get 0.5625 feet. We don't want our final answer to be in feet, so we're actually going to multiply this by 12. There are 12 inches in a foot, so our answer should be 6.75 inches. And that's what our answer turns out to be. So again, what we did is we just set this up. Model over actual is x over 9. Cross multiply, divide, got this number. Since this is not our final answer, we should not round this. We do not round that because it's not our final answer. We then multiply by 12 because we're converting from feet into inches. This common idea here, it says the actual distance from Pittsfield to Leeville shown on the map is 24 miles. If you go through and you actually measure this, you might get something like this. It wants you to use the ruler to determine the scale. Okay, so use the ruler to determine the scale. When I measured this, I'd get 4 centimeters. And 4 centimeters is the same as 24 miles. So this is my ratio. I can simplify this one bit here. 1 centimeter over 6 miles. Or if I was to write this as a scale, 1 centimeter to 6 miles. Remember, whenever it says scale, you should write it this way. Now I'm going to use that scale, 1 centimeter to 6 miles. I'm going to use this ratio based on these other two. So it says use the ruler to estimate the actual distance between Pittsfield and North Vale. I grab my ruler. My ruler tells me that those two are 2.4 centimeters apart. So I'll put an X here on the bottom. All I have to do is cross multiply and then again divide. I should get an answer a little bit less than 15, I think. So 2.4 times 6 gives me 14.4 for my X. So X equals 14.4, not centimeters, but miles would be our units. Lastly, we're given a map of Missouri, and we're at the find certain cities and everything else. The first question for us is actually going to have us measure this. And what we'll do is we'll develop that this distance from 0 to 50 miles is approximately 2.5 centimeters. So that's going to be the scale is 2.5 centimeters to 50 miles. So that's what we write in this first piece here. This is 2.5 to 50 miles. Next, we will locate the city of Independence and the city of Jeff City. And what we'll do is we'll determine that is approximately 6.5 centimeters apart on our map. So what we do is we say 2.5 centimeters over 50 miles. That's the scale that we're given, is going to equal 6.5 centimeters over X miles. And then cross multiply and divide, and X would equal 130 miles. We'll continue this throughout the rest of these, finding key cities in Missouri. You could do this really with any map, but I picked a map of Missouri just for fun. And for part F, I just had people pick two funny cities that they found, whether it was Columbia, Sikeston, Tightwad, Dallas, Houston. There's all sorts of really fun cities, and Yosho, and just kind of determine what their distance is between them in centimeters, and then use our conversion, our scale, in order to determine those lengths in miles. We've used scale, we've used similarity, using these proportions, in order to actually determine what the distances are. So again, we're using scale in regards to maps and models.